Massachusetts lawmakers are working to strengthen support systems for the state's nearly 400,000 veterans. I'm Nathan O'Leary for Comcast Newsmakers in Comcast's Massachusetts studio. Joining me to talk about those changes is State Senator and Iraq veteran Michael Rush. And Senator Rush, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Great to be here today.
You served in Iraq just last year, and this was shortly after being elected to the state Senate.
That's correct.
So, could you tell us about your service and also what it was like to be both citizen soldier and legislator?
Certainly. Shortly after being elected, I was deployed. I'm a Navy reservist. I've been in the Navy Reserves for a total of 16 years, but I'm the fourth member of the legislature since 9/11 to be mobilized.
Okay, so you had a little guidance.
We had a little bit of a roadmap, and there have been many legislators across the country in different state legislatures that have been mobilized since 9/11 because there are so many members who are reservists. Right. So when called to active duty, we need to go.
As chair of the Joint Committee on Veterans and Federal Affairs, you sponsored the Valor Act. Can you break down what that means for Massachusetts vets?
Sure. What it means is Massachusetts is very unique in that out of the 50 states, we have consistently been the number one out of 50 in benefits that we give to our veterans and their families. And we want to ensure that this doesn't become stagnant, that another state doesn't get ahead of us. So I was proud to sponsor the Valor Act with the support of the Speaker of the House, Speaker DeLeo, Senate President Murray, and our many colleagues in the legislature to continue to strengthen the benefits that we give in terms of employment opportunities, education opportunities, housing opportunities for our veterans and their families.
Across the board. How else has your time in the military informed your legislative work?
Well, I think it's very important, again, where this role of the citizen sailor soldier is more prevalent today than maybe ever before, that we have folks in the legislature who understand when I show up to drill weekend once a month, I'll go on my annual training, which I just returned from, that we understand what the stresses and what it's like to have this dual role of being in the military and being a civilian. And I think it's been very, very important for us to have that unique perspective.
And you yourself know this perspective as well. What are some of the biggest challenges facing veterans who come home from Iraq and Afghanistan, and with that transition back into civilian life?
Sure. There are major issues dealing with employment, housing, mental health issues. So it's important that we on the state level are at the forefront in addressing many of these, and I think we're doing an outstanding job here in Massachusetts. Is there still work to be done? Always. But in addition to having a very supportive bipartisan legislature that supports our vets and their families, we also have an outstanding Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Coleman Nee, an executive branch that really stands behind the veterans.
Now, you seem to be, you're so in touch with the Massachusetts veterans, all these affairs. Does it help when you're speaking to veterans that you have this peer-to-peer relationship?
I think so. I think it's important that it's just certainly where we have so many Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, we can talk a lot about some of the similarities, experiences that we've had, as well as some of the folks when I talk to the Korean, Vietnam, and World War II vets who are still around. It's nice to be able to have that relationship and share some common stories. As you probably notice, a lot of veterans like to tell you times that they've had and their experiences, and I love to listen.
Yeah, and I believe it may have been Coleman Nee who had said that when you can have that peer-to-peer relationship, you sort of get that, okay, this is what it was like. You get that story, you get that question out of the way, now you can talk about what they really need getting back home.
It's really important, and to have that connection, again, is only going to make us be better legislators, have better legislation, and ensure that we continue to strengthen it. So, it's really key.
All right, you're doing some great work. Thank you very much. The Valor Act, very well received.
Thank you.
State Senator Michael Rush, thank you, and thank you for joining us for Comcast Newsmakers. We're going to see you back here next time.